Well, it's been a couple days. We've got some chihuahuas barking in the room next door. My roommate's parents are in town and they brought their dogs with them. I love dogs, but I hate chihuahuas. But that's okay. We've done quite a bit of work since the last video I took. I was just having a hard time getting the vocals to sit in the mix. And so I kind of was just like, I'm going to come back to it and play with it from there. I did go back. I want to show you guys this. I redid one part for the solo. So this was the original. So I thought it's like, this is the climax of the solo. It needs to be a little bit more. So I redid it, and also in the original he goes down to the low with a different guitar. So I actually got this guitar, and instead of playing, I went down to, and then went up to, so just to kind of make it again a little closer to the original. I might change that. It's not, I don't love it, to be honest, but I kind of want to throw in a tapping part. I don't know, we'll get back to that later, if I need to. But I did want to show you the vocals and the drum work I've been doing. So I just kept the transients for the toms on the fills, because the toms kind of sound like trash. I salvaged them as best as I could, but in the mix, you can't really hear that fill. And that's the other thing too. I did throw a delay on here to kind of widen the toms a little bit. It's a bigger feel for sure, like the drums kind of sound bigger, but yeah, these toms are kind of garbage. I ended up panning the overheads hard left, hard right, which to create some space, which actually turned out pretty good. The snare I got to sound pretty good. We got a lot of bleed though, that's the thing. And it's kind of a little thin. I notched out the weird resonant frequencies. Oh, here. That ping. So I did have to do some editing to the EQ of it, but I think it sounds good in the mix. The kick, the thud is pretty good. The click is not great, like, because you're supposed to have, you know, click like the hammer beating the head of the drum, and then the thud, which is the sound of the drum, like reverberating in the drum itself. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to change in the future with my drums. I did a lot of stuff wrong, I'm realizing, in the mix here. However, I will show you the vocals, because that's kind of the cool part. They were sounding like pretty bad, or it was just really hard to get them to sit in the mix. And now it's like they're sounding so good. I'll solo them for you. They sound so good by themselves, but they don't really fit into the mix still. Because it's just like it's too much. So I'm probably going to end up, I've doubled everything right now. I'm probably going to take that out because Layne Staley didn't double this. Or he doubled the verses, but he didn't double the chorus. So, but yeah, this is what we got. Like, we've got vocal writer, kind of keep the levels even without a compressor. Then we've got a compressor on that to use as an effect. I'm just using the Rock My Vocal preset. And then we have this cool, it's like a delay that runs into a reverb. I'm using, so you get like one echo that kind of just fades away. That's what I'm using for like the backup stuff. So I have a kind of, I tried to match the Layne Staley reverb, which is like, like the delay goes forever. Like it's a long delay. which it's an amazing vocal too, but it cuts through the mix pretty well and sits back, and it's just one. So I might end up just soloing the vocal there. However, for the verse here, I'm the man in the box. Sounds pretty good. Won't you come and save me? Then we'll go to the save me. The chorus here. Yeah, and on those echo vocals there, I have just a slight little slap. Not very much. Same chain with the writer, the compressor. I did EQ these a little bit just to get the low end out of them, because I think I delivered them a lot closer to the mic, so we have a lot more low end. And I think they also just recorded quieter because I was basically yelling for the chorus, because you kind of have to. That's the nature of this song. But on this call and response, it's just a little slap. Can you sew them shut? Like just a little bit to, and they're hard panned to kind of leave space. Can you sew them shut? Whereas the chorus vocals are 50-50. And I also have that little harmony part. So I honestly might even EQ those because they sound kind of muddy. And that's the other thing too. Yesterday I was really trying to get this thing done, but I kind of went a little bit ear blind to it. I was listening to it so many times, and I just kept making adjustments, and nothing was like sounding good. And I was like, I've been too close to this song for too long. I'm gonna just wait till tomorrow to come back to it. Will be wasted. Feed my eyes. But I really liked how the last chorus turned out because I also recorded just a dry up the middle vocal. It's probably the most aggressive. I was like losing my voice by that point. But it's just in the middle right now, but kind of lower. I don't know. I might turn it up in the mix. I'll take it back to 0. It was like -4 before. But with everything else on the last chorus, I also added a guitar, like the chords underneath. A third guitar to just make that last chorus huge. Yeah, which is just the Mesa tread plate dual rectifier setting I have for my Line 6 pod. It's a Pod XT for those who are interested. But for the rest of the song, the guitars I used were at least the rhythm parts. I tried to mimic the JCM 800 because you go over here to ultimateguitar.com and it shows you like all of the stuff they used. So like they say Jerry Cantrell used a JCM 800 and I have that amp on my pod. So I just tried to tweak that as much to get it to sound like the recording. So, which obviously is not going to sound like this because he clearly mic'd a cab and you can hear every little like squeak and the amp hum, and it's a lot more heavy, I think, than what I ended up getting, but I got close. I think the tone's close, it's just I'm not totally sure of what they did to make it a little more thick, but I was trying to get close, you know. I'm not ever going to totally match this. And then I did the dual rectifier as well for all the all the lead parts are the dual rectifier with the wah. So I was considering buying a talk box for this, but talk boxes I think are like $200. Well, okay, it looks like you can get one for $100, but like I could buy it because then I'd have an excuse to own a talk box, which would be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm still considering it, but I kind of want to be done with this song at this point. I put a lot of work into it. And the wah also gives it kind of a little more modern, maybe a little more, obviously, Kirk Hammett type flavor. Trying to make it my own just a little bit while staying true to the original. I'll show you the bass tone. It's not... This is probably the one where it's kind of coming off from the original. I did as much as I could, but I got an amp sim. It's just this STL Putney plugin, and then I also have the DI. I have the plugin as well with a different setting, with a little bit more distortion. So this is the DI with the distortion, just to kind of keep the low end. And then this is like because this is closer to the track, but it's not as full. Because, again, clearly they mic'd a cab. And I'm not experienced enough with the production process to really say this definitively, but I don't think you're ever going to get a DI to sound like a mic'd cab. There's just no way. Because, like, the ringing of the strings, the string deadening, like, that's... And also, it could just be the bass I used, it could be the pickups, there's a lot of factors in there, but I'm not happy with the bass, but it's kind of what it is. But if I turn it up, kind of sounds like it, but it's not as good. And there's a lot of low end missing, so that's why I just kind of brought in some low end. But yeah, all together, this is kind of where we're at. Probably turn those up a little bit. See, now the vocals are really out in front. Drums sound good. Kick kind of gets lost though. I think it's just there's so much. I don't know. I'm not very good. This again, I've never really ever been good at mixing or mastering stuff. I mixed and mastered that whole, I don't even know if you could say I mastered it. I don't think I did any mastering process for it, but the Paranoid Mania album for Zinkernex, I mixed all that stuff and recorded all that stuff, kind of like how I'm doing it now. And same thing with Quarantine Covers. We did it all in a DAW. But, I mean, we did those so quick, because we were just trying to get them out by April 25th every year. We didn't put enough time into it, and our recording process was a little messed up, and I'm really bad at, because I know this is something professional mixers say they can do, and Dallas has kind of talked to me about it too, but like they can create the space in one track. They can EQ stuff, they can EQ space in one track that leaves space for the best parts of another track. For example, they can EQ the drum kick in such a way that it leaves space for the bass, and they can also EQ the bass so that it's still leaving space for the kick. Like the best parts of the kick are still heard, and the best parts of the bass are still heard. That's such a craft, and I am so bad at it, and that's why I'm doing this. That's kind of what this exercise is me trying to get better at that process of mixing and having instruments leaving space for each other without it sounding like a big cluttered mess. So, that being said, I'm going to keep listening. I'll probably turn this guitar down a little bit in the final mix. Let's it's just there's so much going on, and it's all kind of sounding muddy. I'm thinking about just soloing the chorus vocals, just doing this. Just put it right up the middle, just one of them. It's not bad. I feel like it's competing so much with the rest of the mix. And it's like I can turn the guitars down, but then I lose like some of the grit, and then I still need to hear the kick, and it's just like there's so much happening right now. So that's kind of my process for mixing. That's honestly kind of why I did this video too, is just as a way to show where my mixing skills are at October 6th, 2022. This is what I'm working with. And hopefully they'll get a lot better over time. So that's kind of your update. I'll give you some more updates if other stuff comes along. So that's kind of where we're at right now.